The topic for Open Heaven Devotional March 8, 2026 is He can fight for or against you. Memory verse, Psalm 37 verse 5. Commit thy way unto the Lord, trust also in him, and he shall bring it to pass. Bible reading, Exodus 14 verse 21 to 28. 21. And Moses stretched out his hand over the sea, and the Lord caused the sea to go back by a strong east wind all that night, and made the sea dry land, and the waters were divided. 22. And the children of Israel went into the midst of the sea upon the dry ground, and the waters were a wall unto them on their right hand, and on their left. 23. And the Egyptians pursued, and went in after them to the midst of the sea, even all Pharaoh's horses, his chariots, and his horsemen. 24. And it came to pass, that in the morning watch the Lord looked unto the host of the Egyptians through the pillar of fire and of the cloud, and troubled the host of the Egyptians. 25. And took off their chariot wheels, that they drave them heavily, so that the Egyptians said, Let us flee from the face of Israel, for the Lord fighteth for them against the Egyptians. 26. And the Lord said unto Moses, Stretch out thine hand over the sea, that the waters may come again upon the Egyptians, upon their chariots, and upon their horsemen. 27. And Moses stretched forth his hand over the sea, and the sea returned to his strength when the morning appeared, and the Egyptians fled against it, and the Lord overthrew the Egyptians in the midst of the sea. 28. And the waters returned, and covered the chariots, and the horsemen, and all the host of Pharaoh that came into the sea after them, there remained not so much as one of them. Message for today. Ephesians 6 verse 12 tells us that we wrestle against principalities and powers. However, many people do not realize this early in life, so they fight endless battles without knowing how to emerge victorious. Many people make great plans but never succeed in carrying them out. However, as we see in today's memory verse, the secret to success is to commit your plans into God's hands and trust Him completely. When you allow God to lead you, your plans will succeed. There are different possibilities when a person is fighting the battles of life. The first possibility is failure. In fact, failure becomes certain when God Himself is fighting against that person. The Bible says in James 4 verse 6 that God resists the proud. This means that He fights against those who believe they can succeed without Him. When the enemy tempts you to follow shortcuts, cheat, lie, or use ungodly methods to get ahead, you must resist because such actions place you in opposition to God. In today's Bible reading, God parted the Red Sea and made a way for the Israelites where there seemed to be no way. As they walked through the sea on dry ground, their enemies followed them into the same path, hoping to capture them again. However, God fought for His people and against their enemies. When the Egyptians realized this, they cried out that the Lord was fighting for Israel. Beloved, when God fights for someone, victory is certain. But when God fights against a person, failure is unavoidable. That is why you must ensure that God is never against you. One way to ensure that God is not fighting against you is to live a holy life. Holiness is the master key to lasting success. Sin can turn God against a person, and any success achieved through sinful means will not last. Beloved, if you want your plans to prosper, commit everything into God's hands and live a life that pleases Him. Action point. When God is fighting against a fellow, whatever that fellow does will not prosper. Bible in 1 year. Joshua 11-13. Hymn 34, Yield not to temptation. Thanks for listening. Like and subscribe.